Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are talking about the methods used to establish authoritarian states, the role of leadership. Now, just a refresher, methods in this sense is an action committed either by a person or persons as a way to accomplish a goal. Today's subject matter, the role of leadership, what this is really going to be focusing on is who oversaw the different methods used by the Nazi Party to come to power. How did these different leaders hold or conduct themselves to promote the growth of the Nazi Party within Germany? Now today, we're going to be focusing on two individuals. We're going to be focusing on Joseph Goebbels and Ernst Röhm. Now these guys are two very interesting case studies. You're going to be reading about Hitler and everything he did in your owl, but I really want to focus on these two gentlemen for today's video. Now, let's dive right in. Joseph Goebbels. This is him right here. He is by far one of the top 5 known leadership of the Nazi Party, just casually. Most people know Joseph Goebbels because he was the propaganda mastermind. He joined the Nazi Party in 1925. And when he joined the Nazi Party in 1925, he joined because he heard Hitler give a speech and was moved and passioned by everything Hitler was saying on how much to restore Germany, how much to promote and unite Germany again, so it is again a stronger nation. Now, when Goebbels joined, he felt a special connection with Hitler. And he's felt this connection with Hitler because he saw himself as almost a version of Hitler, but more akin to like a brother. Like Goebbels was his younger brother, or like he was Hitler's younger brother. Goebbels has a very unique history. So when he joins the Nazi Party, he starts off in the lower echelons of the Nazi Party in one corner. And he is actually working under one of Hitler's rivals for power in the Nazi Party. He really pushes this idea of socialism, nationalist socialism. And his promotion and writing in newspapers to spread in pamphlets that he spread across Germany, it all focused on National Socialism, the NA of Nazism. And Hitler was very fervently against socialism. He said that socialism was a Jewish plot and anyone who follows it is undermining the community. So that personally hurt Joseph Goebbels. So he would focus and specifically work against Hitler by another individual called Gregor Strasser. He worked under him, and as Goebbels started rising through the ranks, he started to feel that maybe if he promotes this idea of socialism, it's too close to communism, and that if he does continue to push this message of socialism, that Germany might fall to the Soviet Union, that it'll become a socialist country, then a communist country, and then a satellite state or join the Soviet Union. So between 25 and 27, between 1925 and 27, he joined in 25, and in 27, those 2 years, Goebbels kind of has a internal conflict where he's trying to figure out what exactly is his political motivation. And as he's rising through the ranks, in 27, Hitler calls upon him and a couple of other what would be now higher ranking Nazi members and says, hey, let's put our differences aside, let's unite, let's do all this other stuff, and makes a very passionate speech. At the end of that speech, Goebbels, in a way, kind of falls in love with Hitler, but not in a romantic sense, more of a, this guy is the future of Germany. In fact, in Goebbels' diary, he wrote that with such a sparkling mind that Hitler has, he is the only solution for leadership of Germany. So he was super, super into Hitler. And from that moment, from 27 all the way to 29, The next 2 years, Goebbels starts working under Hitler. And when he's working under Hitler, he starts cranking out as much propaganda as possible and abandons his belief that we should support socialism and starts promoting more national socialism, starts promoting more of a fascist idea, more of what Hitler is talking about. He starts really coming to his own on anti-Semitism, racism. He starts really flourishing more on the same ideas as Hitler. And while under Hitler, he starts cranking propaganda like you won't believe in. And a lot of this propaganda is incredibly effective. We're going to see some pictures and some photographs and some posters of what Goebbels has done. But to understand why he was the propaganda master and why he really focused in on propaganda, we need to really reflect on a quote that he said. When asked about why propaganda matters before the Nazis are even in power, when they're just a regular political party, he said, "Never allow the public to cool off. Never admit fault or wrong. Be some good in your enemies. Never leave room for alternatives. Never accept blame. Concentrate on one enemy at a time and blame him for everything that goes wrong. People will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if you repeat it frequently enough, people will sooner or later believe it." And this was core to his message. This was core on his philosophy and how he would create propaganda. Like this. This is a propaganda piece that he orchestrated that specifically made sure that he had Nazi soldiers positively interacting with young women to make the Nazi party literally more attractive in a sexual sense, but also in a romantic sense, right? Look how these soldiers are looking down pleasantly on children, on young women, on older women, on the future of Germany, the youth, right? All of this is backdropped with the Nazi flag and Catholicism. Even right here with Christianity also staring down. This is a very, very well planned propaganda photo that was carefully orchestrated. Everyone is smiling, everyone is happy, everyone is engaged. We have these German soldiers, these Nazi members, positively trying to promote unity and positivity, just as the church has done that. And if you notice, the people have turned away from the church and almost replaced the future of Germany, not in religion, but in the Nazi party. Here's another propaganda photo where it's a very tall young man looking at the older past group of Germans, and just as tall with him is the Nazi party. And you notice you can start to see some Jewish elements here. Glasses, slightly larger nose, a lot of racially motivated propaganda. And then we look at this one. Notice how the eagle and the man right here are essentially mimicking each other. That while the Nazi party looks towards the future, that every Nazi member is looking for their family. Happy, Aryan family. Look at the hair color. Look at the overall whiteness, right? Compared over here. Look at the hair color. It's white. Look at the skin color. Versus right here. Look at these guys. Black hair, ginger hair. Black hair because he's got that mustache. No hair, right? These propaganda photos layer in all of these little itty bitty messages so that you know what is trying to be conveyed. And then you have heavy anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic propaganda pieces where it's very clear how he wants to strike people down. If I were you, I'd advise you to pause the video, take a look at these and analyze them on your own. Now, the next individual is Ernst Röhm. He is the mastermind of the SA. Goebbels is all about propaganda and the literary assault. Ernst Röhm is in charge of the physical assault. His sole duty is to veterans, get soldiers who are dismayed at the war, take to the streets and beat up people. Ernst Röhm was actually very, very good friends with Hitler. They, in a sense, grew up together. They knew each other so independently and so personally that Hitler could only trust him to lead the militant forces. And so this man, Ernst Röhm, who also served in World War I, was immediately put in charge. And his sole focus was get troops, get them out. And the primary reason why Hitler liked this guy as the leader of his violent forces is because of this philosophy. Brutality is respected. The people need wholesome fear. They want to fear someone. They want someone to frighten them and make them shudder submissively. This man was ruthless. This man was brutal. He did not believe in the government. He did not believe in legislation. He didn't believe in voting. His solution was violence. That if they don't want to work with you, beat them up until they do. Right? And that's where we see him with his soldiers ready to go at a Nazi parade. We see him right, where is he? He's actually, I think he's this gentleman, I don't remember. But he is arming his men to go out to beat people up. Because if you didn't listen to the propaganda, if you didn't support the Nazi Party on a persuasive way, you had these guys. You had the SA. You had the violent arm that will teach you that you should follow the Nazi Party. And we're going to talk about more on the SA in a later video. Now, it is also important to note that Ernst Röhm and his push for brutality, in a sense, scared Hitler. He knew the weapon he had. Hitler knew the weapon he had. He knew that this man would be ready and willing to go. So when Hitler conducts the beer hall push, as we will talk in a little bit, it was Röhm who put the guns in those guys' hands. It was Röhm who pushed and even seized a office building, a governmental office building, himself with 12 other guys. This man knew exactly how to fight and exactly how to win. And unfortunately, because of how strong this man was with the SA, how strong and how powerful he was in commanding not only forces, but forces with utter brutality, he becomes, as we will see when Hitler comes to power, a little bit of a threat. Because his effective use of the SA, by 1932, the year before Hitler comes into power, he is able to recruit 3 million soldiers, 3 million veterans, 3 million people who are willing to use the brutality that he demands to get people to vote for the Nazi Party. It is frightening how well this gentleman was in the use of violence and how he conducted himself.